All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome on into the Hat Creek Interior Studios for the daily broadcast, wherever you may be. We're going to have a great time tonight hanging out with you guys, talking Texas Tech football, basketball, you name it. We got it going on. There are no open dates in Raiderland. So, you guys know what the topics are. Let's get ready to have a great discussion tonight on the United Supermarkets chat line. United Supermarkets defending Texas Tech, supporting Texas Tech, putting their name on things at Texas Tech as opposed to that other grocery store in town that may or may not take your money and send it down to Austin and put it on stuff there. All right, so what are we doing tonight? Yeah, one game to play. What has impressed you most about Texas Tech football this year? What has impressed you most? Jacob Rodriguez, everybody trying to rally him, at least get a chance at the Heisman Trophy voting. At least get some votes. Tech doing what they can. Joey McGuire showing that he gets it this weekend, putting him in at quarterback, letting him get the touchdown. Your top five defensive players all time, Texas Tech. Who's he chasing? Who's he trying to run down? Good, bad, and ugly weekend recap. NFL, Kansas City Chiefs, the league is clawing back up on them. They're pulling them down. Can they? We're not talking about winning a division right now. We're talking about just trying to get into the playoffs. Can they do it? Or is it time for a reset in Kansas City? And 9 years into the league for Mahomes, what does that look like? You tell us. All right, let's get this thing going here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios, the best Western style furniture in the United States, right here in Lubbock, Texas, 10101 South Slide Road, the showroom. Go there. If you're outside the area, go to their website, hatcreek.us. You will be blown away. Living room, bedroom, kitchen, dining, office, anything you want, outdoor living. Hat Creek Interiors, they make it happen. And we're proud to be coming to you from the Hat Creek Interior Studios tonight. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, where you start your day. Get those fresh, hot, wonderful, beautiful links every morning. The Raiderland Hot Links brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. Generations of West Texas greatness. They can do all your meat processing. They ship to you. So for your holiday needs for meats, holiday meats for needs, holiday needs for meats, Jackson Brothers in Post, Texas. Go to their Facebook page. Tell them thanks for supporting Raiderland. Brought to you also by McAlpin Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Raiderland. He's a great Red Raider. He's a great West Texan. Kevin McAlpin worked with high-level Tech athletes for decades now. If your back's out of whack, don't call it quack. Call Kevin Mack. Not his slogan. I just made that up. An extreme paintless dent repair here in Lubbock, veteran-owned. Yeah, they do the, paintless dent repair. You guys understand that. Auto glass, they understand that. They make that happen for you. And we get stuff here and whatever that is. I don't know. Oh, good. We got stuff coming in. Thank you. The intern bringing in stuff during the show. Paintless dent repair, collision repair, body repair, all of that and more they can take care of at Extreme PDR. Check it out. It's on our site. You can get there. All right, so let's get it going tonight on the United Supermarkets chat line. No open dates. We go from there. One game to play. What has impressed you the most about Tech football this year? Big, small, in between. You're an open date and one win away from the Big 12 title game. You'll be favored in both games, by the way. What has impressed you the most at this point? And then, as we watch the ascendancy of Jacob Rodriguez into the pantheon of Texas Tech football greats, who is he chasing down? Who do you put in your top five all-time great Texas Tech defensive players? Who would be on that list? I've got four. I can be talked into the fifth, depending. And if you want to get into the NFL, we can tonight. Cowboys and Raiders this evening. If it were 1977, this would be an incredible game. Instead, it's 2025. And the Cowboys are limping along. And the Raiders have hired an old man who It ain't that the game has passed him by. It's just that the game is passed him by, and well, you get the idea. Let's go. Alan's going to lead it off on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. We want 700 subscribers by the end of the week. You can make it happen. Hit share, hit like, all those things. Invite people in. Jacob Rodriguez, J-Rod, 2 more games to get a few more turnovers and score a passing and receiving touchdown. My prediction is he lines up at receiver against West Virginia. Screen pass to the right side, and he serves as his only blocker. He blocks his own way on a screen pass into the end zone from 12 yards out. Joe McGuire gets it. That's one of the things we talked about on the Rewind this weekend, brought to you by Live Life Well Clinic of Lubbock and Dr. John Skelton, that in 2025, he gets it. You can't just have a great linebacker out there and go, okay, that's enough. He also gets that when he promotes Jacob Rodriguez, he's promoting a great player. He's also promoting Texas Tech football. He's promoting that next linebacker that's out there, that defensive lineman, that offensive lineman. You know what? This guy's going to go to the wall for me. Look at what they're doing for this cat. He gets it. Joey McGuire understands. And to this day, I still don't know how he truly feels about NIL or the transfer portal or anything else. But you know what I know he does think about? Winning and how to win in the landscape. That's a high school football coach. High school football coaches wake up every year and go, who moved into my district? Who are my players? What do we have to do to win? Okay, let's go do it. That's the epitome of a high school football coach. James giving us thumbs up. Red something, thumbs up. YouTube. Robert Delgado. Something I heard a college football analyst say that the SEC should get 7 teams into the playoffs. What nonsense. Yeah, I agree. Depending on where you get your media from, that would tell me I don't need to get my media from wherever you were listening to, Robert. Whatever you were listening, that tells me you don't need to listen to that. James, I'm impressed with the level of consistency the OCs have shown. Tell me what has impressed you the most about Tech football this year? So when you say the level of consistency the OC, you mean offensive coordinator? I assume that's what you're talking about. What has impressed you the most about Tech football so far this year? You tell me. Top 5 Texas Tech defensive players of all time. Who's Jacob Rodriguez chasing down in the history of Red Raider football to try to get into that landscape? I'll give you 4 that I will not deviate from. I'll give you 4 that are in my list, and I will not deviate from it. 1, Elmer Tarbox, Elmer the Great, part of the 38 Cotton Bowl team. He held records for interceptions that weren't broken until the 1980s and 90s. All right. He rocked the number 21 uniform. He looked good doing it. Elmer Tarbox. E.J. Holub, linebacker. He also played center. He did whatever he wanted to do. He gets on the, I mean, we're talking offense or defense. E.J. Holub, Lubbock High Westerner, didn't play his senior year of high school, tore up his knee, did not play his senior year of high school. Gabe Rivera, the best, maybe the best college football player I've ever seen play in person. Definitely the best defensive lineman and defensive player I've ever seen play in person. Zach Thomas, there's 4. So we go top 5, and where do you go after that for your top 5? Do you go back in history a little bit with a Thomas Howard out of Lubbock Dunbar? By the way, I think he won the state championship in the 120-meter low hurdles. He was fast. He was a bad man. Played for the Cardinals and the Falcons, I believe. Do you go Tracy Saul, Marcus Coleman, Dakota Allen a few years ago, Ted Watts, the oft overlooked great defensive back, late 70s, early 80s, and for Texas Tech, playing on great defenses. He played with a broken jaw with a cast fitted around his face mask and the jaw wired shut. Played for the Raiders in the NFL. Top 5 Texas Tech defenders all time. Who you got? Give it to me. Get on the United Supermarkets chat line tonight here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios. Good, bad, and ugly recap for the weekend. What did you like, not like, everything else. And then one game to play. Get on that United Supermarkets chat line and tell me what's impressed you the most so far about this team. We can get into all the playoff stuff and anything else. All you got to do is fire away with your questions and comments. Back to the phones. I'm going to start using that. I just thought it. When I go to the text line, I'm just going to go like, full 1990s. Let's go back to the phones, Don. Let's go to line 1. Robert Christopher. I like that Tech controls their own fate, but it still sucks to see the Big 12 getting snubbed. Tell me again who won the conference the last time Oregon and Utah were together. Well, the Big 12 is going to get snubbed in a way, and everything's going to get snubbed that's not SEC and Big 10 right now. So don't worry about it. Ain't going to matter. Texas Tech controls their own fate. Don't worry about the Big 12 getting snubbed. I don't really care. Correct. Zach Thomas, Marcus Coleman, Dwayne Slay, no E, Tracy Saul, Gabe Rivera. That's a fairly recent listing of top 5 defensive players of all time, and that's all right. Marcus Coleman may be the best athlete in the last, can't go 25 years anymore, so we got to go 30 or so. Dwayne Slay was a big hitter. He was a horrible coverage safety. He got burned many times biting on play fakes. I love Dwayne Slay for the big hits. He was an average defensive back and would not start on this team. Gabe Rivera, absolutely. Tracy Saul, like right on my 5-man cut line, Tracy Saul, who breaks some Elmer Tarbox records. Tracy Saul, by the way, has the record. The last 4-time All-Southwest Conference performer in the history of ever, Tracy Saul. Old Texas Tech man on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. Subscribe, hit like, put it out there, get people in. Oh, and then on our Facebook page, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland again. And on Twitter X, at Ryan Hyatt Media. One game to play, most impressive thing about this team this year. What is it? Your top 5 all-time defensive players at Texas Tech. Who is Jacob Rodriguez trying to chase down, in your opinion? Anything and everything else after that? We have breaking news. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss will not coach at Ole Miss. He's not going to coach anywhere. He's going to get fired. He's going to LSU. His family's been to LSU in Baton Rouge. Maybe they've been to Gatorville. This is impossible because I was told earlier today on social media that Joey McGuire was the #1 candidate for LSU, and he was going to, geez. I like what Ole Miss is doing a little bit with Lane Kiffin here, and here's what I would do if I'm Ole Miss. I present a contract offer to him before the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State and say, if you want to coach next year, you sign this. If you don't, you're not coaching her next year. You mean like fire him? Yeah. Fire him. So either you're in or out. Because if you're Ole Miss right now, you can go get a coach. Look at how many coaches are out there, right? That if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, I don't even know what we got right now. It's a hyper static market with much coming and going. By the way, James Franklin to Virginia Tech, and he gets the idiots at Penn State to just cancel out about $39 million of money that they really owed him. He should fire his lawyers and his agents and hire Andrew Brandt. But yeah, if I'm Ole Miss, I'm like, that's fine. We can get somebody that looks almost exactly like you, doing what you're doing. Sign it or go. I would love to see it. All right, so I got lost talking about stuff. Meanwhile, back at the conversation, let's go to line 2. And caller, you're on the air. Old school Texas Tech. Jacob Rodriguez may not win the Heisman, but he will win the Butkus Award. Well, yeah. The player that's not getting recognition is Cole Wisniewski. All coaches need a raise. All right, a lot of stuff there. Yeah, he'll probably win the Butkus Award, talking about Rodriguez. Wisniewski, and he played what, sick against BYU, and then he just plays sick all the time because he's sick good. All the coaches need a raise. You will see this year. I don't know. You'll see a complete doubling of what Tech pays assistant coaches as a staff total pool, but I bet it's close. And if you want to keep Shield Wood, you're going to have to do that. JC Double T, J Rod, top of the totem pole for me, Thomas Brooks. Before, I don't know who before in Saul. I don't know. I don't know how old JC Double T is. Ask me at the end of the year, and I will properly rate Jacob Rodriguez. All right. Top 5 right now? Senior, I assume you mean senior second. Yeah, Gabe Rivera. Top of the list. Top of the list, Gabe Rivera. Gary's on our YouTube page, Raiderland. Give us thumbs up, like, share it, invite people in. Does Mack Rhodes' exodus as college football playoff chairman take away Big 12 momentum on the committee? No, it really doesn't. I think the Big 12 is priced in pretty much. Tech wins out, they're 3. They lose in the Big 12 title, or they lose they lose at West Virginia. They're probably not getting in the playoff. Very hard to do that. And if they lose in the Big 12 title game, I think they'll be 9, 10, 11 right in through there. It's going to be very hard to get, a BYU, Utah, whoever in at this point, even with the elevator that's going up and down SEC. So, no, I don't think it hurts the Big 12 whatsoever. So, and I don't care about the Big 12 right now. I care about Tech. I don't want the Big 12 to get 2 teams in, because the only way to do that, I think, is to have Tech lose in the Big 12 title game to somebody. Hill Country, Red Raider, Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, EJ Hollab, top 5 defensive players all-time Tech, Gabe Rivera, Elmer Tarbox, Zach Thomas, Jacob Rodriguez, Tracy Saul, Slay, Jordan Brooks. I know that's more than 5. Yeah. Dakota Allen, Jordan Brooks. Old Texas Tech, man, what impressed me is the defense. So glad we got rid of DeRuyter. I think Tim DeRuyter, I know Tim DeRuyter is a really good defensive coach. He's a great defensive coach. Would he have liked to work with these guys versus the jugheads that he had the last couple of years? Absolutely. Am I taking anything away from Shield Wood? No. I don't know what. This is where we get into some concepts and everything else. And Shieldwood deviates from some of the Tim DeRuyter concepts on a light front, heavy, not heavy back end, but, a little more of a 3 and then a 4-5 out there on the backers, or a walk-up stacer. Would he have embraced just a total 4-man? I mean, we're going back to the 1980s with Texas Tech football, where you've got a nose tech, a 0 tech or a 1 tech in the gap. And you basically got 2 techs and an end, however you want to play it. A 4-man front, okay? Would he have done it? So I'm not just going to sit here and rip DeRuyter. I think DeRuyter is a great coach. I really do. And all coaches look better when you have really good players. And Shieldwood has really good players. Not taking anything away from it. So then we would get into what would the concept have been with these players, DeRuyter versus Shieldwood. I think the thing that has impressed me the most about Wood as a young coach is that he has gone basic, that he has embraced a basic front, at least the way I would consider it now in today's college football. And that he has not given into, I've got to look like I'm scheming up stuff with exotic blitzes, twist stunts, watch this, move this around, look at me, I'm coaching. And that he's looked at these guys and said, holy crap, I got 3 NFL players up here, maybe 4 and 5, but definitely 3 guys. And that as a young coach, he said, let them eat. He has preached, I think, in watching them play, what we used to call, what I still call gap integrity, lane rush integrity, however you want to say that. That you don't get too wide, you don't get too in, that you just, it's like an anaconda squeezing that pocket, squeezing that quarterback, squeezing down the line, and let the linebackers eat. That's not to say he hadn't moved guys around. He's put Bailey on the left side, Romello Hyde. He's flexed that. He's done some really cool stunts. I like the way he overloads a gap at times. And I don't know, and this would be a great offseason discussion topic, you know, in real time, you know, how that's playing out, that you see a formation and you give those guys a little bit of latitude to say, hey, let's all go blow up the A or the B on this side. There's no running back protection here. They don't have a tight end. They don't have maybe chip me. Let's do this. Because, again, these defensive players are all very experienced. They've been out there. They know a look. They understand film. I think in real time, it's funny. We talk about all the time about quarterbacks making reads and changing plays and everything. Do you guys understand that goes on the defensive side too? That they can signal, a lineman can signal to a backer in the back or vice versa, that they can make those adjustments in that last 10 seconds as well and play off each other. So I look, and this is a long answer to a very short question. I look at what Shieldwood has done with the defense, and it's impressed me what he hasn't done, which is muck it up. And that's hard to do for young coaches. That's credit to Shieldwood. Meanwhile, back on the phone lines, we'll be with you for another few minutes till the top of the hour. One game to play. What's the most impressive thing about Tech football this year? Your top 5 defensive players all time at Texas Tech. Who is Jacob Rodriguez chasing down? He's chased down Big 12 quarterbacks for the last 2 years. He's made an impact in the Heisman race. But who, really, is Jacob Rodriguez trying to unseat if you want him to be a top 5 defensive player all time at Texas Tech? Good, bad, and ugly recap on the weekend. College football in general. Cowboys, by the way, Raiders plus 3.5. Field goal game, Cowboys if they win. Meanwhile, let's go to line 3 and TM something. This team seems to have a true love for each other. They're playing for a higher purpose. That feels like a Creed song all of a sudden. That would fall under the chemistry aspect, and how do you throw transfer portal, NIL guys who've been here and everything, and how do you create a culture and a chemistry in a very short amount of time? And that's Joey McGuire. And I don't have time to get into how I think they're doing it. And it's not just Joey McGuire. It's some people in the athletic department that I think have hit upon something that Texas Tech has not done for 50 years very well. And they're doing it. And I think it's consciously. I really do. But even if it's unconsciously, it's working. I'll tell you what it is as we go through. Robert on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook. Everybody go there. All of our platforms are free. In Raiderland, we operate a multi-platform network utilizing not just our website, theraiderland.com, but Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, YouTube, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, generating close to 1 million impressions every 28 days. Glad you're part of it. What if Wednesday candidates and Mike Leach, job saver, Kevin Curtis for honorable mention? That first year, Kevin Curtis runs down against New Mexico, punches out a ball. Was Rodriguez even born? I don't think he was even born yet. And Kevin Curtis Mustang effort, punches out that ball. Otherwise, the Leach era could have been dead before it ever started. Old Texas Tech man on line 3. Ex-Penn State coach going to Virginia Tech. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. And by the way, he's got great lawyers just impressive that Penn State is getting out of paying him like $40 million. Franklin needs to fire his lawyer and agents. Hire Andrew Brandt. Just brutal that he could do that. James, my top 5. Gabe Rivera. E.J. Holland. Zach Thomas. Dakota Allen. Adele Duckett gets a mention for tipping a pass against Eli Manning and Ole Miss in 2002. Is that Lubbock 2? Yeah, Lubbock 2, I think. On a hot day. T.A. McClendon. J.C. Double T, most impressed this season with Tech's ability to bring in the right parts or bring together what could have been ill-fitting parts. Whichever it was, yeah, impressed. I agree. And you're hearing more and more people talk about not Tech spent this amount of money, but look at how many other schools spent a lot of money, and why didn't it work out for them? Why didn't it matter for those schools? And then they say, well, Tech plays in the Big 12, and they all played in the SEC and other places, and they come up with an excuse for it. Nope. Tech did it better, and they coached them up better. DeRuyter would not rush maybe once in a blue moon. All right, here's why DeRuyter didn't blitz. He had nobody in the back end that he thought could cover. He was loath, and Joey McGuire was loath to put them in any sort of zero press, any sort of man, and that's why they didn't bring any pressure. Bottom line. And they didn't pressure because they didn't have guys that even if you blitzed 5 or 6, you didn't get home. How many times over the last 2 years we talk about that? So again, I think Tim DeRuyter is a great coach. If he had these guys, would you look the same? No, you'd be doing things different probably, I assume. But I think he'd look pretty good with it. It ain't the X's and O's a lot of times. It's the Jimmies and Joes. Again, though, Shieldwood, I think, is maximizing the Jimmies and Joes that he has. Joseph on Facebook, good J-Rod's touchdown, bad. South Carolina choke job, ugly. Oklahoma State, so ugly, got to tie a pork chop around their neck to get the dog play with them. That's an old Rodney Dangerfield line. Hey, I got no respect. You know, I'd come home. The dog wouldn't look at me. Mom tied a pork chop around me. Dog said I'm a vegetarian. I get no respect. Hill Country Raider. I hear Mike Leach is the leading candidate to replace Lane Kiffin. If Mike were still with us, his agent would be on the phone. Gabe, Jan talking about top 5 defensive players all time. Gabe, EJ, Zach, Allen, Rodriguez. Look who's not on that list. Elmer Tarbox. Goodness gracious. Elmer Tarbox not on that list. And Tracy Saul. It's like a TV show, Jan. It's like a TV show. Blah, 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 blah. And starring Tracy Saul, intercepting all the passes. James, a good for the weekend. The Lady Raiders thumping Arkansas 80-68 on Krista Gerlich's birthday. All right, so my favorite part about this, not just the induction of the 1993 championship team in the Ring of Honor, should have been day one on that. That so many of them were able to be there. They could be there. It's really hard to get the whole group together again. But for old Lady Raider fans and old Lady Raiders, and I kind of consider myself an old Lady Raider, to beat Arkansas on that day is extra special. In 89, 90, and 91, Arkansas was as big, if not a bigger thorn in your side than Texas. There was a game, I think, Krista's sophomore year, Tech trying to beat Arkansas for the first time, and she misses a 3-point shot at the buzzer. North End Coliseum. Doesn't go in. You would have won. The year you beat Texas for the first time in the Southwest Conference tournament in 1991, spring of 91? Yeah, spring of 91. I hope I'm getting this right. It's been a while. You beat Texas in the semifinals at Moody over there at SMU. You play Arkansas in the finals, and they get you by 10. And then they go to the SEC. Arkansas was this team that you just couldn't get by, even when you were beating Texas and everything. So for me, long story short, I thought it was really extra special in an interesting way that this team of Lady Raiders, so many of whom, went to the greatest heights you can on the national championship, but as young players, freshmen, sophomores, freaking Arkansas. Really? Freaking Arkansas, pissing you off. Delmonica DeHornay. Nobody remembers the name. So that made the whole day, to me, extra special. That in, you guys don't understand how hard it is for these players to all get together at the same place at the same time. And now we're not talking about kiddos running around. We're talking about even grandkids running around now, which I think is pretty cool too. That's a good ender there, James. I appreciate it. You guys are the best audience out there. I want you to do a couple of things for us. The power of 5. 5 people every night. Go to our great sponsors like McAlpin Chiropractic, Extreme Paintless Dent Repair, United Supermarkets, all on Facebook. Hat Creek Interior, same thing. Go to their page and say, thanks for supporting Ryan Heights Raiderland. We appreciate it. Do that. It doesn't cost you any but like 30 seconds of time. They appreciate it. It helps us. It helps that make this broadcast possible. And then do that for all the other shows you like, okay? Go on their social medias and tell them thanks. We don't exist in this cutthroat world of media the way it is today. It's so hard to do this. And I can only do it because you guys are incredible. The numbers you generate, the eyeballs, and everything else y'all do for me is, it blows me away every day. It truly does. But please let our sponsors know how much you appreciate them, all right? And then go buy like a crap ton of stuff from them. That would help too. That would be very nice too. But just going to their social media pages and everything else and promoting them and saying thanks, that's massive for them as well. We're going to have this posted on the website, theraiderland.com, here in just a little bit. I'm going to jump on with my friend Carl Johnson. A little jig-jack time talking NFL football here in just a little bit. All right, you guys are the best. We'll see you tomorrow, theraiderland.com.